Hello everyone, it's Miss Thomas, and today we're going to look at the unit circle. So the unit circle is a circle centered at the origin It has a radius of 1, and we're going to use it to help us memorize all sorts of values for various degree measures. And so you want to think about it as if this segment here was rotated all the way around 360 degrees. So, since the radius is 1, these pieces are the radius. Value here is 1, 0. Up here it will be 0, 1. Negative 1, 0. And 0, negative 1. So those are your x and your y coordinates. So, very important here is that the value of the x and y coordinates of the various places on the unit circle equal the value of cosine theta and sine theta for the associated angle. So theta is just a variable to represent angle measures. Okay, so if we are saying that the values of the x and y equal the sine and cosine, this would be a 0-degree angle. We are saying that this is the same as cosine 0, sine of 0. So that means cosine of 0 is equal to 1, whereas the sine of 0 is equal to 0. So then up here, this is a 90-degree angle. Up here, so it always goes cosine, sine. So the cosine of 90 degrees is going to equal whatever the x value is of your coordinate, so 0. And the sine of 90 degrees is equal to 1. And the same holds true over here. The cosine of 180 degrees, because we would be going from here to this line, so that's 180 degrees. So the cosine of 180 is negative 1, and the sine of 180 is 0. And then if we look at a 270-degree angle, then the cosine is 0 and the sine is negative 1. Okay, so we might be asked a question like, what are the sine and cosine of a 60-degree angle? And we obviously know from geometry we can use our SOHCAHTOA to help us figure that out. So as a reminder, sine of an angle is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of an angle is equal to adjacent leg over hypotenuse. And tangent of an angle is equal to opposite over adjacent. So I want to tie the things you've learned in geometry to what you need in order to move forward with your understanding of trig functions in an algebraic way. So this is where the unit circle comes in. So we've got the unit circle. Not much better. So you've got the unit circle. You know that this is 1, 0. This is 0, 1. This is -1, 0. And this is 0, -1. So the radius all the way around, though, is 1 unit long. So if I wanted a 60-degree angle, and make a 60-degree angle here, and then I use my knowledge of right triangles to help me find this value. So we imagine dropping this horizontal here. And I know I've got a 60-degree angle. So we want to use the fact that it's a right triangle in the unit circle. We know that our hypotenuse is 1 because our hypotenuse is a radius. So then we use that to help us find the other values. This piece is the short side because it's opposite the 30-degree angle. So it's half as big as the hypotenuse. And then this piece here is just going to be square root of 3 times my short side, which is the square root of 3 over 2. So this value of 1/2, this side of this right triangle that's 1/2 a unit long, that's my x value. Because my x value is the horizontal change to get to this point. The 3 square root of 2, the vertical change to get to this point, square root of 3 over 2, that's my y value. So then I use that information to help me find the sine and cosine, because I know that my cosine is my x value and my sine is my y value. So cosine of 60 degrees is going to be 1/2, and sine of 60 degrees is going to be the square root of 3 over 2. Now that seemed like a lot of work to get these values, but you're going to have this unit circle memorized, and you're going to learn all these different values, but they're all related back to these special right triangles. Okay, so if you have a 45, 45, 90 triangle, and the radius is 1, and we know, the hypotenuse is 1, and we know the hypotenuse is equal to a leg times the square root of 2, and this would be 1 equals the leg square root of 2. So to solve for this, I would divide by the square root of 2 and get that the leg equals 1 over the square root of 2. Except I'm not allowed to have radicals in my denominator, so I need to rationalize that denominator, multiplying numerator and denominator by square root of 2, so that the leg will equal the square root of 2 over 2, because square root of 2 times square root of 2 is just a 2. And since the legs are congruent, it's going to be square root of 2 over 2. So then to revisit on the 30, 60, 90, I'm going to do it from the perspective of a 30-degree angle. Since we just did it with the 60-degree angle, kind of oriented with this radius being 1. If this is 30 degrees and my hypotenuse is 1, my short side is half as big, and my long side is square root of 3 times the short side, so it's going to be square root of 3 over 2. So we use this for the unit circle. So we want to keep in mind that all these values come into play on this unit circle. So we've got our axis. We know our radius is 1. So that means that each of these is 1 unit away Yikes. Making a circle on this thing's a little harder than I expected. So, our unit circle is going to be split up in all sorts of different segments based on 45-degree angles, 30-degree angles, and 60-degree angles. So, if you think about the order, remember everything's got to come from this orientation. So I can make a 30-degree angle. And then I know that really I could construct this smaller right triangle in here. So 1's always my hypotenuse. The horizontal change is across from my 60. So that's going to be this square root of 3 over 2. And the vertical change is going to be 1 over 2. So this coordinate right here is going to be the coordinate square root of 3 over 2, 1/2. Because my horizontal change is the square root of 3 over 2, my vertical change is the 1/2. So then, if I make a 45-degree angle from in standard position, here's my 45 degrees. Kind of got rid of some stuff. So from the x-axis, counterclockwise, to this segment is 45 degrees. Imagine dropping down a vertical line and making a right angle. That's a 45, 45, 90 right angle. My hypotenuse is 1, which is all standardized, which means that my horizontal change is going to be a square root of 2 over 2, and my vertical change is going to be the square root of 2 over 2. So then, if we made a 60-degree angle, when we did this on the previous page, we're still just using that relationship between the sides. So for a 60-degree angle, the horizontal change is 1/2, and the vertical change is square root of 3 over 2. So that is just one quadrant, keeping in mind that this is the coordinate 1, 0, this is the coordinate 0, 1. So then everything from there is just a reflection of that first quadrant. So if I wanted to know this coordinate here, it's really just a reflection of this value. So if you think about it, our horizontal change is still half away from here, but it's going to be a -1/2 because I'm in this quadrant, and the y value should be exactly the same. So this coordinate is going to be a -1/2 and a positive square root of 3 over 2. Then, to find the value, so if this is a 135-degree angle, and it's 135 degrees, because it is the full 90 degrees plus another 45, then for 135 degrees, we are going to again reflect these values over here, but keep in mind the negatives. So it is going to be a negative square root of 2 over 2 and a positive square root of 2 over 2 for your y. My 2's did not want to complete. And similarly, we can reflect this 30-degree angle over here. And my values are going to be a negative square root of 3 over 2 and a 1/2. And we continue that repetition. So now I'm going to reflect this piece here. I'm in the third quadrant, so both values are going to be negative. It will also be reflected here, where my x values are positive and my y values are negative. Again, with the 45-degree angle increments. Both values are negative here. And reflecting it into the fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, only my y values are negative. And finally, taking this and reflecting it and reflecting it again. So remember, when you reflect things, they should be equidistant from the line of reflection. This will be a positive 1/2 and a negative square root of 3 over 2. So it looks a little chaotic. There's a lot of information on there. But if you recognize you really have this repeating pattern, you only have to memorize these three values. And in fact, you really only need to memorize these two coordinates, because the 30-degree angle and the 60-degree angle just reverse the order of the 1/2 and the square root of 3 over 2. So if you can memorize these two values, know that they flip here, and then that you're always reflecting in one of the axes to get to the next quadrant. And it just changes the sign, but otherwise the absolute value of the coordinates stay exactly the same, right? If I reflect in the x-axis, absolute value stays the same, although the signs change based on the coordinate you're in. So, for you to do is to find the value of the sine